there, welcome to the Teeny Tinkers channel. I make ball joint adult and craft related content. I am still on the floor. I am filming both intros at once. If you won't understand unless you happen to be watching the videos through the playlist of my doll sculpting or following the kind of train of these videos in the future. But in the last video, I I sculpted the hands and feet for Polly. So she has little ball jointed hands and feet now. So she's officially a full doll. She's not strung together like a full doll. And why I've done that is because of the way she's strung, I can't use these hooks or whatever. I would need to unstring her regardless to fit her hands and feet. And I was like, if I'm gonna unstring her, I'm going to do her full fitting and smoothing. And I'm really excited to get into that. She is officially a full doll, hands and feet there, but we need to do some improvements. And while this is not her finishing video, this is going to be kind of bringing her from this to a smoother, more stable version of herself with better fitting joints. There's a few things I want to do as far as sculpting her. Off the top of my head, to improve her, I will start with her head, off the top of her head. I want to improve her profile just a little bit. I think her chin could come back a little more. I think her head could be a little more egg-shaped, as well as fixing out the eye wells. I do like her lip and nose shape, so I don't want to mess with those too much, but I do want to smooth them. Her ears I really, really love. Again, mostly just smoothing and detailing. I want to create a neck ball for her. So her head will sit into a ball that will sit onto this neck as a separate ball. So that's why her head's so wobbly now, because I always anticipated giving her a neck ball. Again, I want to fit the shoulders better. The elbows I'm pretty happy with. Again, improving the general fit of everything, smoothing of everything. Her collarbones are a bit too harsh, and she has zero trap muscles here, so we need to give her that, like, so much so that from the back, like, this is her shoulder blade here, this what you're seeing at the front is her collarbone, so like that needs to be fixed. Smoothing in the torso, I think I'm going to soften her a little bit. I think I need to improve the shape. See, her back needs to bend in a little more and come out to her butt in a smoother fashion. The thigh joints need a bunch of work. They don't sit in there very nice. And then the knees need work and locks and all of that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how she's coming, but I think that this video is going to make a huge difference in the quality of her. But I mean, it's going to take forever, so I think we should just go ahead and get started and unstring her. So let's go do that. Here's Polly Dolly. I know I'm biased, but honestly, she is really cute, right? It's not just me. Tell me it's not just me. I just think she's super duper adorable. Unstringing her is the first step. I try to do this super gently and carefully, since stringing and unstringing clay dolls honestly makes me really nervous. And this is why. The S-hook on one of her arms has sunk into the clay and chips it on the way out. At least this is an opportunity for me to fix it, since I have to make the wrist sockets anyways. Once she's unstrung, I get to work scraping away the clay. I do this using a really sharp craft knife. Be careful. There are asymmetries in the face, as well as improvements I can make to her profile. I shave away at her chin and lower face, as well as her ears. There's more clay on all of these than I need here. Already looking better. I take the Dremel off screen to thin out and shape her eye wells. Once done, this 12mm eye fits perfectly. I want to add the ball joint to the neck. Like belly balls, I find neck balls really cute. I shave out a rounded hole at the top of her neck for a ball this size to sit in. I need to scrape out the head as well so the ball can sit into the head. It takes a few tries before I like the height and placement of the joint. Scraping away at the chest now. There's some definite symmetry issues where the chest meets the torso. I removed the clay from the larger side so I can fill in the gap on the torso later. This will not only improve the way she looks, but the evenness in her posing as well. The shoulder blades look a bit too round, so I scrape away the extra into a more flat shape. I'm trying to follow the actual bone lines here. I also take a minute to remove some extra bulk from the spine. Moving down the spine onto the torso, I round out the spine here. As mentioned, I wanted more of an arch to the back, so I had to scrape off a lot of clay. Luckily, nothing I scraped got too close to the hollow insides. It ended up being almost a half a centimeter shaved off in one part, so I'm really glad I gave myself some wiggle room during the first sculpting session. As well, to improve aesthetics and also the leg movement, I shaved off a bit off the groin, and this definitely helps so she can cross her legs or sit with her legs closer together at least. Now for the legs. Not only do I need to make the thigh sockets larger, but the tops of the thighs need work too. I fight the urge to start building the clay up right away. I really want to do all the dry cutting first, which gives me a better idea of where to add clay back. Also, then I don't end up getting dry clay mixed up into my wet clay. The knees are not great. I am unhappy with them in general, to be honest. I used this time to scrape out the joint sockets, as well as cut the calves into more symmetrical pieces. The knee joints themselves are going to go, and I'm going to make new joints instead. Next time I clay sculpt, I'm going to sculpt the full legs, bake them, and then cut them. Versus this time, I tried to sculpt it all at the same time. If you have to redo the joint, you're not actually saving time after all. This is looking and working better already. I make the socket at the bottom of the calf where the ankle joint will sit. I have to shave off a bit of clay off the feet as well to make sure everything sits together nicely. Then I make the other leg match as well as possible, including creating a new joint for this side. Looking good. And doing the same for the arms. I don't need a whole new knee joint on these though, since the fit and function are already pretty good. After some last touches to the arms and legs, I get to start adding clay back on. I use some softened polymer clay to smear the face and scrape it away with a silicone tool and my hands. This leaves a lot of clay on the face, but primarily in the cracks and crevices. I'm pretty happy with Polly's features in general, but they definitely need evening and smoothing. Especially around her eyelids. I do not like the way the cut looks, so I'm filling in the creases. I can always add it back in the sanding phase. I also soften her brow ridge and even out her eye shape after using the Dremel. Liquid Sculpey alert! I pour this on and use silicone tools and a paintbrush to spread it out. This helps smooth the face even more. Though, as a heads up, the paintbrush does leave brush strokes in the clay, but these sand out pretty easily in my experience. Why does she look so disgusted here? Okay, so same thing on the body. Add clay, smooth, build up uneven parts, liquid clay with a brush. I also build up muscles and joints to ensure they fit. So let's take a minute away from what I'm doing, and I want to ask your opinion. It is September now, and I'm expecting the Clover and Poppy pre-order dolls in the next month or so, Castor permitting. I'm also expecting Junie and Penelope's samples to come in too. While most of my unboxings happen over on my second channel, Teenier Tinkers, if you haven't checked it out already, take a chance, go on over there. But I wanted to know if cast doll pre-orders or samples would be of interest to anyone here. I'm thinking maybe an aesthetic sample unboxing of the new dolls, and maybe a pre-order fulfillment vlog? Let me know what you think. So after scraping away clay from the chest to make it more even and symmetrical, we need to fill that gap in on the torso. This is super easy actually. All you need to do is soften the clay and spread it out in kind of a tube around the top of the torso. After smoothing this clay into the edges of the torso, I just take the chest piece and press it lightly onto the piece. I use a silicone tool to press the clay upwards to make sure that all the gaps are filled from the front of the doll, and to make sure that everything lines smoothly and isn't sticking out or jutting up. Once I lift it up, I can see exactly where I need to smooth the clay down or cut some more off in order to make this joint fit right. Once everything is smoothed over and softened, it looks pretty good, and definitely way more symmetrical than it did before this. Once dry, she'll definitely have a better range of movement too. The piece then gets a brush over with some more liquid Sculpey. Onto the thighs. I add clay onto each thigh to make sure that they look more symmetrical and even in size. I also want to ensure that the lengths are the same and that the ball at the top of the thigh is roughly the same size. Once done, the thighs are definitely chunkier than the first iteration of the legs, which is exactly what I was going for. But now with Polly, we're making new knee joints. I make these new joints as spherical as possible, which improves the posing, but with a smoother, flatter back of the knee. I really like the way this looks. I also add a little clay to the elbows, which improves the stability of the arms. So at this point, everything is basically smoothed over and ready for the oven. Here's what all the pieces look like laid out. If they look a bit shiny, it's because of the liquid Sculpey. Alright, time for the oven, 275 for 20 minutes. While those bake, it's time for Doll of the Week. This week's doll is a repeat, but it's from DX Girly. This adorable purple Luna belongs to Nikki from DX Girly. She also has one of the hollows, so her Luna has a friend. I love how she styled Luna, and especially the face-up. She's so cute. Thank you so much for sharing. Also, next week, I have a tag video coming out with Nikki from DX Girly, so be sure to check that out. Alright, so if you want to be featured for Doll of the Week, all you have to do is post your photos over on Instagram or DM or email them to me using hashtag TeenyTinkersDolls or hashtag TeenyTinkers. Even better if you tag me at TeenyTinkers to make sure I see it. But let's get back to the video. Here are the pieces. They already look way better. Sculpting both traditionally and digitally is a slow process. There's so much adjusting and changing that goes into it. Entire dolls and pieces are often scrapped, but seeing a doll come together is so rewarding. It makes it all worth it. I give everything a super duper quick sand, think 20 minutes for the whole doll, just to soften the brushstrokes and features, like these overly defined collarbones. This helps give me a more clear image of what's left to work on. I packed it in for the night after this, thinking I was done. But I needed to test string her. I gave the pieces a wash and dry to get all of that clay dust off. If you used air dry clay and you need to wipe them down, I definitely recommend a barely wet or damp cloth instead of water like I used. I still see a lot of smoothing and fixing needed, but every session brings me closer to a completed doll. Here's how the individual pieces are looking at the end of this video. Definitely smoother and definitely softer. But that'll be another day. Right now, let's test string her. I string pretty loosely to help keep the tension off of the clay parts. I don't want pieces snapping off. But even here, I can tell the jointing's a lot better than it was. So much better into the shoulder sockets now, as well as the elbows with the new added girth are definitely holding their positions better. I do think I'll need to scrape out the channels a bit more though. The arms and chest are all strung up and I think they look great. The knees are fitting great, and the new channels in the knees are much easier to string. I do use the needle and thread method for this though, which is my go-to for stringing. This leg looks so good. Everything is looking more even and more soft and just a better flow to the body lines. I know we're keeping track of time spent on the doll. Before this session, I was sitting at 42 hours of sculpting. This only includes sculpting time, not baking or cooling. The adjustments to the body, the new joints, and all of that took me about 9 hours, spread over 2 days. This brings our new working total to 51 hours. But that's where we're going to leave it for now. Keep in mind, at least I am, that as far as what I've heard from other clay doll sculptors, the finishing time on these dolls can take more time than the initial sculpting. I have just barely scratched the surface of finishing the initial sculpt. I'm not sure what the next videos are going to look like, or maybe the next video, I haven't decided. Sanding, smoothing, filling, and priming can be extremely time intensive, and I've done it only on 3D printed dolls, and it still took forever. I'm not sure if I'm going to do another smoothing video, or if I should do just an update to show you what I've done after some time has passed. I will absolutely keep you in the loop on what I did and how long everything took though. And I'm falling more in love with her every time I work on her. I'm also really happy with how her posing is coming along too. I can balance her in a standing position for about 10 seconds before her ankles wobble, and I know this is just because she's strung so loose. If I could string her tighter, I have no doubt that she'd be able to stand properly. Let me know what you think and what you think of Polly. If you're already subscribed, thanks so much for subscribing, and if you're new here, I hope you like the content and will consider subscribing. As always, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye!